An election night bombshell from the Pennsylvania GOP. The state Republicans are threatening legal action over the use of new voting machines, and their case starts in York County. Good evening, I'm Rob Hanrahan. The PA GOP has, quote, filed an emergency injunctive relief and an order directing for the security, and counting of the ballots. We want to get right to CBS 21's Brendan Kinney, which in the past hour or so, just in the last few minutes, the GOP came out to try to clean this up. Brendan, where do we stand right now?
Good evening to you, Rob. We just got out of that news conference about 20 or 30 minutes ago here in downtown York with the PA GOP. And this comes after their election day legal team says they've received countless calls from people around the state reporting voter machine malfunctions, again, across the state. And as Rob mentioned, the PA GOP filing an emergency injunctive relief. It's a legal action essentially asking votes to be secured and then properly counted. This comes after the GOP says more than 400 ballots were found uncounted in a box owned by the county. Take a listen to what the GOP had to say just moments ago.
We also want to ensure that this is really a wake-up call for next year. Obviously, we have a presidential election that is going to be of great interest to a lot of voters. We expect a much larger turnout. We can't afford to have this happen next year.
And York County officials are apologizing for what they call for delays and inconveniences at polling places across the county. They say one machine per polling place was simply not enough to move things smoothly. The county also misjudged the time it would take to scan 2 ballot sheets per person. I'm going to be talking to a county representative here in just a few minutes to get their sides of things. But Rob, I hear that you have a statement from Governor Wolf's office. We'll turn things back over to you.
All right, Brendan Kinney with the very latest for us out of York right now. We will get the governor's reaction to this in just a moment. But first, it went down like this tonight. The GOP sending out news that they were going to hold this news conference this evening and announce this injunction. The acting secretary of state, of course, also scheduled a news conference for tonight. CBS 21's Andrea Finney is at the acting secretary of state's presser. And Andrea, she responded to the allegations, but in a much different way than the GOP is painting this.
Absolutely. The acting secretary of state has a very different perception of today's elections compared to that of the GOP. Now, the Republican Party, they did send out that press release that Brendan just got done reporting on. They say they have filed an emergency injunctive relief and an order directing for the security and the counting of ballots. Now, they say there were several counties that experienced issues. The GOP also said the Department of State directed the judge of elections to scan ballots on behalf of voters, which is in violation of the election code. Well, I asked the acting secretary of state if that happened, and Kathy Bookvar said point blank no. The Department of State did not. The Pennsylvania Emergency Management Agency says they only responded to 29 issues throughout the day. Some of those problems included reports of a gas leak in one precinct to power outages at several locations, but county election officials worked with local authorities to resolve those issues, and voters were still able to cast their ballots.
We haven't, obviously, nothing has been filed or served. However, we did speak with the Pennsylvania Republican Party since that came out, and they actually backed off of the allegations that there were any concerns about the state's operations at all. So I think they're trying, frankly, to figure out what exactly happened. I think most of the concerns are about York County, and we'll have to see. We can respond more once the filing happens.
Now, about 20 minutes ago, I also spoke with the communications personnel with the judicial system of Pennsylvania, and they say, to their knowledge, nothing has been filed with the Commonwealth Court either. But again, we'll continue to stay on top of this story. Reporting live, Andrea Finney. Back to you.
Andrea, thank you. And we do understand at the last minute this evening that early tomorrow morning we do expect to hear from the courts about this. Governor Wolf's statement: the vast majority of counties using new voting technology are not seeing these issues. Counties were able to pick the technology and time frame for new machines. The Department of State will review issues in specific counties, including York, and work with those commissioners to resolve them before the next election. Follow the latest overnight at CBS21.com and tomorrow on CBS 21 News this morning starting at 5. And we'll, of course, have more on CBS 21 News at 11 about this GOP action that happened late this evening on this election.